The night was calm over Earth. Cities were quiet, oceans were still, and stars shone peacefully in the dark sky. But high above the clouds, something had changed. At first, it was only seen by a few astronomers. Small dots of light moving fast, too fast for meteors, too straight for satellites. Within minutes, space agencies across the planet noticed it too. The objects were entering the outer orbit of Earth. The scientists tried to contact them, but there was no response. No radio signal, no code. Just silence, then more appeared. 10, 20, 50. Hundreds of unknown objects shaped like black diamonds, slowly surrounding Earth like a cage of light. People on the ground began to see strange glows in the night sky. News channels went live. Something, or someone, had arrived. In the control room of the United Earth Space Command, alarms echoed. Monitors flashed red. "Tracking multiple unidentified objects," said one officer, his voice shaking. "Any communication?" The commander asked. "Nothing, sir. They're not responding to any known frequency." The commander looked at the main screen. The objects had stopped, all of them, at the edge of low orbit. Perfectly still. No movement. No sound. It was like they were watching. All around the world, governments panicked. Fighter jets were launched. Space telescopes turned to the skies. But the strange ships didn't move or attack. They just waited. Hours passed. Then the first change came. One of the black diamond ships opened, like a flower made of metal. From inside, a blue glow began to pulse, slow and steady. Like a heartbeat, every sensor on Earth picked it up. The blue energy was unlike anything seen before. Pure, strong, and full of radiation that made no sense. The scientists whispered to each other. "This isn't an invasion signal," one said. "Then what is it?" "No idea, but it's sending something into space." And then, just as quickly, all signals went dead. Satellites shut down. Space cameras froze. Darkness covered the planet's communication systems. Humanity had gone blind. In a secret base hidden beyond the moon, a quiet alert came online. A voice echoed through the metallic halls. "They have entered Earth's orbit." The words woke the sleeping systems. Deep in space, dark shapes began to move. Not alien ships this time, but human ones. Sleek metal cruisers with blue lights under their hulls. The Guardian Fleet, Earth's secret defense project, had been waiting for this moment for years. Admiral Sarah Holt stood at the command bridge, staring at the display. Her eyes were calm but cold. "Confirm target locations," she said. "All alien crafts locked in," replied her lieutenant. "Then we deploy." The order echoed through every ship in the fleet. Engines roared to life. Shields activated. Dozens of human warships turned toward Earth. The commander on Earth was confused. Who authorized launch? A quiet message appeared on his screen. "Top secret clearance, Fleet Command, Shadow Protocol." He whispered to himself, "It's real." The stories were true. Down on Earth, people were still staring at the glowing shapes above. Social media exploded with videos and fear. Some thought it was the end of the world. Others thought it was contact from the stars. But no one could imagine what was truly happening in the silent dark above them. A game of patience between two great powers, both waiting for the other to make the first move. Inside the largest alien ship, something shifted. A golden light rippled through its surface. Small drones began to detach, floating toward the human satellites that had gone dark. Admiral Holt saw it first. "They're moving," she said softly. Her officers tensed. "Do we fire, ma'am?" "Not yet." "Let them make the first mistake." The room went silent. The only sound was the low hum of engines, vibrating through the steel walls. Seconds turned into minutes. Then one alien drone changed direction, directly toward a human ship. "Admiral, incoming contact." "Evasive maneuver now." The drone passed by the ship, scanning it, not attacking. A blue beam of light swept across the hull, and then the drone turned away. "What are they doing?" one officer asked. Holt didn't answer. She just stared at the display. Then suddenly a faint signal appeared on the comms, not alien but human. A deep voice spoke from an unknown channel. "Command to all units." They entered orbit. "Deploy the fleet," the words repeated, louder this time. Across the secret bases, under the oceans, in the dark side of the moon, hidden ships powered up. Lights flickered. Engines came alive. The Earth was no longer waiting. For the first time in history, humanity was ready for war in space. The sky above Earth shimmered with both light and fear. No one knew what would happen next. only that everything had just changed. High above Earth, the stars burned cold and silent. The alien ships still surrounded the planet, unmoving, glowing faintly like ghosts in the sky. But now, another light joined them. The light of engines firing in the darkness. Human ships. The Guardian fleet had awakened. For decades, the world had believed space defense was only a dream, something too expensive, too impossible. But in secret, beneath the moon's surface and deep within orbital stations, humanity had built something powerful. 12 great battle cruisers, 20 smaller frigates, and hundreds of drones. Hidden among old satellites, this was Earth's last defense, the Guardian fleet, created under the secret command of Admiral Sarah Holt. No one outside the highest level of government even knew it existed. Admiral Holt stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Resolute. Her eyes watched the alien formation as if she could see right through it. Around her, the crew moved quickly, calm but tense. "Status report," she said. "All systems green. Weapons charged but on standby." "Any response from the aliens?" "None, Admiral. They're completely silent." Holt looked out at the stars. She had trained for this her entire life. But the reality of it, real alien ships over Earth, still felt unreal. Down on Earth, the public didn't know about the fleet. All they saw were news broadcasts, rumors and fear. The world's governments told people to stay calm, but inside every bunker and every control room, panic was growing. The aliens had not attacked yet, but why were they waiting for something, watching humanity's reaction? No one could say. In orbit, the Guardian fleet formed a silent wall between Earth and the alien ships. The two forces floated opposite each other, separated by only a few hundred kilometers, close enough to see each other's shapes clearly. The alien ships were vast, black and silver, their surfaces moving like liquid metal. Strange blue energy flowed across them, like veins under transparent skin. They looked alive. "Are we sure these are ships?" one young officer whispered. Admiral Holt turned to him. "Everything that moves in space is either a ship or a threat." The officer nodded, swallowing hard. Inside the command center on Earth, General Vega of the United Earth Forces was watching the feed from the fleet. His face was pale. "Admiral Holt, this is Vega," his voice crackled through the comms. "Why did you deploy the fleet without confirmation from the Council?" Holt replied calmly, "Because waiting could kill us all. You know the protocol. Once unknown crafts enter orbit, Shadow Command takes control." Vega hesitated. "And if they're not hostile?" Holt's eyes were cold. "Then they'll tell us. But right now, silence is a weapon." Back in space, one alien ship began to move. Slowly it rotated, facing the human fleet. Its front opened like a giant eye, revealing a glowing sphere inside, pulsing brighter and brighter. "Energy spike," someone shouted. "Is it a weapon?" "Unknown. Power levels rising fast." "Shields up," Holt ordered. Blue light flashed across the human ships as their shields came online. A hum filled the air, deep, vibrating, powerful. Then the alien ship fired. A beam of white energy shot forward, passing through space, but it didn't hit. It stopped midway, frozen in the void. Everyone stared in shock. The beam didn't explode or destroy. Instead, it split apart into hundreds of small lights, spreading out like dust and vanished. What was that? "Testing us," Holt said quietly. "They wanted to see our reaction." In the silence that followed, Holt gave a new command. "All ships maintain distance. Prepare countermeasures, and keep scanning for any communication signal." Her officers nodded. Every second felt like an hour. The alien ships were still there, still waiting. Then something unexpected happened. The alien ships began to shift formation, slowly, arranging themselves into a circle around the planet. "They're surrounding Earth," someone whispered. "No," Holt said. "They're protecting it." Everyone turned to her in confusion. "Look at the pattern," she continued. "They're not closing in. They're facing outward, toward deep space." Down in the main radar control, a technician suddenly shouted, "Ma'am, detecting something new or beyond the alien fleet." On the screen, small red dots appeared at the edge of the solar system. Hundreds of them, thousands. Admiral Holt's face hardened. "Those aren't ours," she said. The communications officer looked up, frightened. "Then who are they?" Holt took a deep breath. "I don't know," she said. "But it seems our visitors weren't here to invade." She looked at the glowing circle of alien ships. They might have been here to warn us. The screen flickered again. A new signal came through, strange but clear. A voice, yam deep, calm and ancient, spoke in English. "Do not fear. The darkness follows us. You must prepare." The bridge went silent. Every heartbeat could be heard. And Admiral Holt whispered almost to herself, "Then it's not an invasion. It's the beginning of something much worse." The message echoed across every ship. "Do not fear. The darkness follows us. You must prepare." The voice faded, leaving only static. No one on the bridge of the Resolute spoke for several seconds. The words had come from the alien fleet, the same fleet that had been silent for hours. Admiral Holt stood motionless, eyes fixed on the comm screen. "What darkness?" she said quietly. "Unknown, ma'am," replied her communications officer. But the signal came from the largest alien ship, the one facing deep space. Holt took a deep breath. "Keep scanning the outer system. Whatever they're talking about might already be coming." Minutes later, alarms started flashing again. Multiple contacts detected at the edge of the solar system. The radar screen filled with red. Hundreds of ships, small, fast, and cold. No heat, no signals, no signs of life. They were mechanical, machines. "Those are not the same ships," said Holt. "No, ma'am. These things are moving like drones. Thousands of them." And just like that, when the aliens turned, their formation broke apart, and their ships began to move toward the new threat at high speed. General Vega appeared on the screen from Earth Command. "Admiral, what's happening up there?" Holt didn't hesitate. "The aliens are not our enemy, sir. They're going to intercept those machines." "Machines? You mean robots?" "Yes, sir. And they're coming straight for Earth." For the first time, Vega looked speechless. "Do we help them?" he asked. Holt's voice was steady. "If we don't, we die next." The first contact war had begun. The Guardian fleet moved into combat formation. Engines blazed bright blue against the dark sky. Human ships raced beside the alien vessels, forming an uneasy alliance born in seconds. The enemy, cold metal ships with no windows or markings, poured into the system like a swarm. They didn't communicate. They didn't slow down. They only advanced, absorbing asteroids and debris as they came. Every ship they touched turned dead and cold. "Machine life," Holt whispered. "They consume technology to grow." When the first wave reached the alien fleet, the battle exploded in silence. Beams of blue and white light crossed space like lightning. Explosions flared in total quiet, lighting the blackness with fire. From her command seat, Holt watched alien ships fight with beautiful precision. Their weapons bent light. Their shields shimmered like liquid mirrors. But even they were being pushed back. "Launch human drones," she ordered. "Launch confirmed," said the officer. Thousands of small human drones rushed forward, joining the fight. Some collided with the enemy, self-destructing to create shockwaves. The aliens noticed the human support and didn't attack. They adapted, sinking their fire with human ships, fighting side by side. For the first time, humans and aliens shared the same battlefield, but the machines were endless. Every destroyed drone split into two smaller ones. Every explosion made the swarm bigger. "Admiral, they're multiplying." "Then target the source," Holt replied. "Find their command ship." Scanners lit up. One massive structure appeared, black, angular, rotating at the swarm's center. "That's it," she said. "The command vessel. We take that out, maybe they fall apart." She sent the coordinates to the alien fleet. Within seconds, 3 of their ships broke formation and accelerated toward the target. Holt gave a sharp nod. "Follow them." Full speed. The Resolute and 2 other human cruisers followed the aliens. Machine ships swarmed around them like insects, crashing into their shields, cutting at their hulls. "Hold position," Holt shouted. "Keep firing." Space lit up with blinding flashes. The human ships took heavy damage. One of them exploded in a burst of fire and metal. Inside the bridge, smoke filled the air. "Ma'am, our right thrusters are down." "Divert power to shields. We're not dying here." Ahead, one of the alien ships took a direct hit and broke apart, pieces of glowing metal spinning away into the void. But before it died, it rammed straight into the machine command ship. The explosion was massive. The light blinded every screen. For a moment, the swarm froze. Then silence. The remaining drones stopped moving. "Did we?" a Winsman officer whispered. No one answered. The screens flickered again. A new signal appeared, faint, broken, but clear enough to hear. It came from the destroyed alien flagship. The same voice spoke again. "We are not the first. They are many. They will come again." And then it ended. Holt stood quietly, eyes filled with the reflection of burning ships outside her window. Her fleet was half destroyed. The aliens had lost even more, but Earth was still safe for now. General Vega's voice returned over comms. "Admiral Holt, report, we stopped the swarm," she said. "But they weren't here for us. They were chasing something. Something older." Vega paused. "Older than them?" "Yes," Holt said softly. "And now it knows we exist." The screen went dark. Admiral Holt looked out into the cold, empty space, knowing the silence was only the calm before another storm. Silence filled the command bridge of the Resolute. The battle was over, but the sky still burned with fire and debris. Wreckage from human and alien ships drifted slowly through the darkness, glowing faintly in the sunlight. Admiral Holt stood at the window, her reflection staring back at her, tired eyes, burned uniform, and the weight of survival in her voice. Half her fleet was gone. Many of her crew were missing. But Earth still lived. That should have been victory. It didn't feel like it. "Ma'am," her communications officer said, breaking the silence, "we're picking up a faint transmission. It's coming from one of the alien ships. The big one. The one that survived near Mars orbit." Holt turned sharply. "Put it through." The screen flickered. Static filled the air. Then slowly an image appeared. A tall humanoid figure covered in silver armor that moved like liquid. Its face was calm, almost human, with glowing eyes that shifted from blue to white. "Humans," the voice said. "We speak now as allies." Everyone on the bridge froze. Holt stepped forward. "Who are you? What are those machines? Why did they attack us?" The alien paused for a long moment, as if choosing its words carefully. "We are called the Elindra," it said. "Our people once ruled many worlds. We fought the machines you saw, the harvesters. They consume life and metal alike. They do not think, they only expand." Holt frowned. "You said they followed you. Why?" "Because we destroyed their core once," the alien replied. "But they rebuilt. We fled across galaxies to find a place where life could resist them again. We came to warn you." A quiet murmur spread across the human bridge. Some faces showed disbelief, others fear. "So this wasn't an invasion," Holt said softly. The alien shook its head. "No, it was a test. We needed to know if your kind would fight. Or surrender." "And what did you find?" Holt asked. The alien's voice grew softer. "We found courage. Your ships fought even when you knew you could not win. That is what the machines fear. That is what gives us hope." General Vega's voice came through the comlink from Earth. "Admiral, are you hearing this?" "Yes, sir," Holt replied. "Ask them how much time we have before the machines return." The alien's glowing eyes shifted again, turning a deep red. "They never stop. When one swarm falls, another follows. You have months, perhaps a year. But next time they will not send drones. They will send their forge worlds. What are those?" Holt asked. "Worlds that build other worlds," the alien said, "moving factories the size of moons. They strip planets bare and leave only dust." The bridge went cold. No one spoke. The alien continued. "We cannot fight them alone. Our fleets are broken. But with you, with human strength and strategy, we may stand a chance." Admiral Holt looked around at her crew. They were exhausted, wounded, but still listening. She turned back to the screen. "If we join you, what happens when this is over? Will you leave us in peace?" The alien nodded slowly. "If there is still peace left to leave." Holt gave a faint smile. "Then we fight together." Hours later, the surviving human and Elindra ships began linking communication systems. Engineers worked side by side with alien technicians, trying to understand each other's machines. It wasn't easy, but it was happening. For the first time, two civilizations were building a shared command. Network. The aliens gave humans access to their star maps. And what they showed made everyone's blood run cold. The maps revealed hundreds of red zones, systems, already taken by the harvesters. Entire galaxies had gone silent. Humanity had believed itself alone in the universe. Now it knew the truth. It had joined a war that was already centuries old. In the days that followed, the world below changed too. Earth's governments announced the truth. First contact had been made. And the aliens were not enemies, but allies. People were shocked, afraid, but also curious. Hope began to grow where fear had lived. Factories started building new ships. Scientists worked with alien engineers to create hybrid weapons, part human, part Elindra. and far above the planet in the shadows of orbit, the Guardian fleet began to rebuild. One night, Holt stood alone on the observation deck of the Resolute. The stars stretched endlessly before her. A soft voice spoke behind her. It was the alien ambassador, projected as a hologram. "You wonder if this alliance will last," it said. Holt nodded. "I wonder if we're ready for what's coming." The alien looked out at the stars. "No one ever is. But readiness is not what saves a world, Admiral." "It is will," she smiled slightly. "Then humanity will give them a fight they'll never forget." The alien's eyes glowed brighter. "Then perhaps together we can end the dark." The stars outside flickered. As if listening, far away beyond the edges of known space, something massive was already moving, a cold shadow between galaxies. The Forge worlds were coming. The stars were quiet once more, but the silence was heavy. The humans and Elindra had rebuilt what they could. The Guardians of Earth floated in formation, their engines humming, lights cutting through the dark void. Every ship carried the memory of loss, the burned hulls of friends, the voices of the fallen. But they had no time to grieve. The Forge worlds were coming. In the observation deck of the Resolute, Admiral Holt stared at the blinking red dots on the map. Hundreds of machines, larger than any ship she had ever seen, were moving steadily toward the solar system. "They're coming faster than we expected," said her tactical officer. "Estimated arrival in 72 hours. Holt clenched her fists. "Then we do not wait. We meet them in the asteroid belt. Let them pay for every kilometer they advance. Below Earth, every nation worked together for the first time in history. Factories churned out weapons and ships. Scientists collaborated with alien engineers. And ordinary people contributed in ways they had never imagined, supplying resources, monitoring satellites, even guiding the fleet with calculations for navigation. Humanity was fighting with every skill it had. In space, the Alliance formed its plan. Human strategy, honed over centuries of war and instinct, combined with Elindra technology, shields that bent light, weapons that could cut through planets' crusts, and drones that adapted instantly. The Guardian fleet took the front line. Smaller human frigates darted between the massive Elindra cruisers, acting as scouts and decoys. Every crew member knew that one mistake could mean annihilation. Then the Forge worlds appeared. Massive as moons, moving like unstoppable black mountains, they consumed everything in their path. One Forge world activated its planetary-scale laser, vaporizing a small asteroid with ease. Smaller machine ships swarmed around the fleet, attacking with synchronized precision. Holt's voice rang out on all channels. "All units, target the cores. Focus fire. Do not let them build any further." The first human frigates raced forward, dodging streams of energy, launching drones that exploded in controlled blasts. The Elindra ships unleashed beams of bending light, slicing through the metal swarm like knives through water. The battle had begun. The Resolute engaged a Forge world directly. Its shield strained against the massive beams. One strike could crush a cruiser. Holt's heart pounded as she gave the orders. "Full power to weapons. Divert every reserve to forward cannons." The crew responded instantly. Cannons roared, light tearing across the void. The Forge world quaked. Sparks flew from its surface, but it did not fall. "Keep firing." Holt shouted. "We are humanity. We do not surrender." Nearby smaller human ships were being crushed, but they fought back with desperate courage. Pilots rammed swarms of machines, creating shock waves that disrupted their formation. Every loss inspired the next wave. Fear became courage. Humanity's will burned brighter than any laser. The Elindra watched in awe. One officer whispered, "I have never seen a species fight like this." They are extraordinary. Hours passed. The battle raged, turning the asteroid belt into a field of fire, metal, and energy. The Forge worlds advanced relentlessly, but the Alliance adapted. Every strike was countered with a new maneuver. Every attack met with a response. Finally, the core of one Forge world was exposed. Human and Elindra ships fired together. Energy beams collided at the heart of the machine, exploding in a blinding flash. The Forge world fractured. Smaller swarms faltered. The momentum shifted. Admiral Holt looked at the chaos around her. "Press the advantage. Push them back." The fleet surged forward as one. The humans fought like predators, precise and ruthless. The Elindra unleashed their most powerful weapons, and the machine empire began to crumble. By the time the sun rose over Earth, the last Forge world had been destroyed. The remaining machine ships, leaderless and scattered, drifted into the void. Silence returned. The fleet floated among the wreckage, battered but alive. Holt looked at the crew, exhausted faces reflecting relief and sorrow. A voice came through the comm, the Alindra ambassador. "You have done what few could ever imagine." "The darkness has been held at bay," Holt nodded. "For now. But they will return. We must be ready." The ambassador smiled faintly. "And you will be. You have proven yourselves worthy of the stars." Back on Earth, the people cheered. News broadcasts spoke of the courage of the fleet, the bravery of the humans, and the strength of the Alliance. Humanity had survived, not because of technology alone, but because of courage, strategy, and unyielding will. Holt stood alone on the observation deck, staring at the stars. The void was quiet now, but she knew it was temporary. She whispered to herself, "We fought, and we won, but the war is far from over. Humanity is ready. Humanity is strong, and humanity will never stop." The stars stretched endlessly before her, glittering like a million tiny warnings. Somewhere in the dark, beyond the edges of known space, shadows stirred. But for the first time they would meet a force they could not crush. Humans united, unbroken and unafraid. And so the last stand was over. But the legend of Earth had just begun. End of story.